Hello, baby. Hello, nasty. Hello there. Hello. I say hello. Hello, friend. Well, hello, little girl. Hello, my treacherous friends. Hello, operator. The beginning of everything. Welcome back, my friends. It's showtime.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Brink of Sanity, episode 350. It's our 350th episode special. We have a lot planned for today.
It's an anniversary.
Yeah, it is. It is. We have so much planned for today. It did not become sprung on me with by accident. I actually planned for this for weeks.
You've been preparing.
Nothing but preparing. That's why I seemed surprised because I was preparing so much. I didn't realize what time it was, and it just jumped up.
You've been preparing since you read that number.
Yeah, I've been preparing for 349 episodes for this moment. I am Jay. With me is the Doc. How you doing, Doc?
Hey, guys. What's up?
And Marc will join us whenever he gets through his...
Oh, I just realized I have to put my imaginary kids to bed, so I'll be back in an hour or so.
Yeah, apparently it takes that long. So, yeah, whenever that's done, that ritual...
So, Jay, you're on your own.
Well, no, I have to also put my cat to sleep. So it's not quite as complicated as a human, but it'll be...
I got to put my cell phone to sleep.
Yes. Hold on. Anyway, yes. So, we were just talking about how apparently it's like a big ritual to put kids to sleep nowadays, and we just don't understand it. And
yeah, I mean, like I thought at a certain age, like 5, it like starts happening on its own, and you don't have to like do all this work.
First, it did. My mom was like, "Go to bed." I go, "Okay," because you're the parent, and I do what you say, and you say go to bed, and that was it. That was the whole process.
I think Marc's kids are in their 20s and they're still doing it.
Seriously, read me a story.
It's going to be like 20 years from now. He's like, I got to put my 30-year-old to sleep.
Yeah. I got to update my 30-year-old's resume, hoping he gets out of that temp job. So we were just talking about not only is putting kids to bed different, the whole ritual of just doing anything, like video games. There was, first of all, there was none of the digital stuff. So you had to go to the store, the video store. They actually had stores where you rented games.
Yeah, it was like,
lesson.
You know, we actually like did other stuff because getting a game was like one of the options, and it was so much work that it wasn't something we did all the time.
Well, first you had to get money because we had no money.
Yeah, even like $2 to rent a game was like, where the hell are we going to get $2?
Right, and then you got the $2, and you're like, oh, I have no way of getting to the store. So now we have to hitch a ride to the video store. And that's where it starts getting really complicated because there's no game reviews. You're just looking at boxes.
Yeah, it's like you got to trust the person who put the picture on the box. Like, oh, that game looks fun based on the picture that has nothing to do with the game.
And you're using your only ride and all of your money, and you better hope you made the right decision because that is your game.
That happened. I remember, like, you'd rent a bad game, and then like that was supposed to be entertainment for like 2 days, and then you get home and play for like 30 minutes, and we're like, well, you can't play this anymore.
Right. What do you want to do for the next 71 hours? Like, yeah, there was a lot of misleading boxes. I remember, I don't know if you remember your biggest disappointment. Mine was probably X-Men for the NES.
Yeah, I don't remember the bad ones. I think there might have been a few that were kind of hilariously funny.
Oh, no. Taboo. Do you remember that? I think I rented that one with you.
I think I remember hating it so much. I don't remember what the game was.
You ask it a question. It's like a Ouija board, and you ask a question, and it answers it with like a very generic stock response. And that's the entire
Taboo,
game.
the board game is actually a lot of fun, but this was different.
No, that was the entire game. And I think we played it for 7 minutes, and then we
just had to like cut our losses at that point. We're like,
yeah.
It probably took us like 3 hours to get a ride to the store and like try to get the money.
I think that was the one time where I actually begged my parents to take us back to the video store. And then I had to grovel to the guy at the video store saying, like, I got ripped off by this game. Can we just get a different one? And it worked, but that was like a one-time thing. So, yeah, life was a little bit different back then.
Yeah, it's also like parents weren't like around their kids like every second of every day. Like, I feel like the kids like spontaneously explode if you don't like supervise them every second. That's what it seems like.
I was alone most of the time.
I know.
I mean, we would, we didn't live far. It was like, what, 5-10 minute walk. But
Yeah.
I'd just be like, oh, I'm going over the docks now. I called you the doc back then because I just knew you'd be a doctor. And they'd be like, all right, come back in like 9 hours.
Yeah. So like you're gonna be home, right? Or if not, just let me know.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're kidnapped, have them just ring me and let them know where you are.
Yeah, we would bike a lot. There was a lot of biking going on. I remember biking around the neighborhood a lot.
Far. I mean, we'd be in like different zip codes.
Totally.
Visiting people in like different school districts.
Yeah, it's like we got pretty far. Like we didn't we weren't afraid or anything.
No, and every school district had this like sketchy woods in the back, and you just ride your bike in the middle of the woods and encounter random people. It's like really.
Oh yeah, I remember we found those like woods, and we'd just be like going there every day, and like our parents had no idea. Like we were just going into the suburban wilderness.
Yeah. I mean, people were digging up like bike ramps, and we found this big pit that was like, I don't know what, 10, 12 feet deep. And
yeah, it was like we were just like scared being around like scared that we'd like fall into it or something.
Well, I don't know if you remember, we found that one pit that was really deep, and then we walked around the neighborhood, and it was garbage night, so we found a mattress, and we dragged the mattress about a mile into the woods, threw it down the pit, and then just jumped into the pit.
Oh yeah, that's
right. That was Mark. Is he here?
Ah.
Oh, there he is.
Hey.
All right.
There I am. You guys started.
Yeah,
we were
having a conversation about all the stuff we did while we were unsupervised, and kids don't
we're
have
making fun of you mostly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we were just saying like kids don't go unsupervised anymore.
No, they really don't do as much as they used to. I don't know though. It makes perfect sense that the kids they should be unsupervised more, but it's also a lot harder when it's your kid. Yeah. And also when other people are also doing the same thing.
Our parents didn't.
We were saying in like 20 years you'll be like, oh, I got to put my 30-year-old to sleep.
He goes to bed at 1 a.m. Can we start the show at 1:15, guys?
At what age do you think it's appropriate to have kids roam the neighborhood by themselves?
I mean, we did it at like 10.
Yeah, we did. I'm not saying it's like it was the best.
No. I'm saying if it's your kid, what age do you think would you go with?
Are they with friends?
Let's just say they're not with friends, on their own. They're going to try to find friends.
What time of day?
2 a.m, Jay. Like the middle of the afternoon. What do you?
Oh, I don't think middle of the afternoon. Like I don't know, 9, 10.
Okay.
I don't know. I'd probably say like 12, maybe.
Okay. So Zach just turned 9. So we still kind of he's a little more freedom if I know where he's going, but I kind of just trail behind, or I'll let him ride a little bit without me.
Does he ask to be on his own?
No, he doesn't really. He just he doesn't want to always wait for me. He'll be like, I'm going to go up to so-and-so's house, and by the time I get to the garage, grab my bike, he's already gone.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe in a year when he's 10, we'll be much more comfortable with him just more roaming the neighborhood by himself. I don't know. He has a friend whose older brother is 12, and they're just do whatever you want. But that friend also has a phone, so they can always check in on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely did not. We just went on 8-hour excursions.
Well, we didn't have phones then, and I don't necessarily think you need the phone, but I don't. There are other families in our neighborhood where the kid's 5 and they're bye.
Yeah.
There's kids that just roam the neighborhood at young ages, and we're
yeah, but I think things have changed. I mean, I think the accepted parenting is different than it was back then.
Well, we were saying earlier, if you let your kids do that, there would be 5 different groups of parents that would call the cops.
Yeah, I think you could get in trouble for that.
Well, no, legitimately, there are parents around here that just send their kids out. There aren't that many, but it's a small number. Where they send their kids out at at least 6 years old. They're just go basically since they were 6. Basically,
that's a little young.
That's old school parenting.
You know what? So a big thing I've noticed basically is that all the activities are scheduled.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
Which I find really annoying And the big thing, the coronavirus has changed as people have become a little more relaxed about things. Kids just kind of like find their friends and do activities. It's not scheduled, and outside of the fact that we're risking coronavirus, it is nice that the kids just kind of like make their own activities.
Yeah, it was more like the way it used to be. I think it's like some of that is good.
Yeah, I really like the fact that like just there. I mean, again, forgetting the coronavirus risk, when there's like, let's go to this backyard, let's go to this backyard, we'll jump on so and so's trampoline, and like.
I think it's just things like just go to the extreme. Like it used to be like that all the time. Like everything was not scheduled, and then now parents schedule everything. I mean, I think like somewhere in the middle would be good.
Yeah, everything being scheduled is annoying as fuck. Yeah. Like it's just, especially, I mean, on the one hand, if your kid's really into sports, I guess it's fine because your kid's really into playing sports. My kids are not really into playing sports, but it's also if your kids are really into playing sports, there's so many things that you're driving them fucking everywhere. So it doesn't. I don't know.
I mean, we had like little league and stuff, but then everything else was just hanging out basically.
So, but like it's like they have little league, then they have little lacrosse, they have little basketball, they have little everything.
No, I think you just stick to like one or two sports. I think.
So I like the fact that I like more in schedule than schedule. I think it's better for the kids to kind of just come up with their own activities.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of liked. I don't know. Summer was kind of cool, where it's like you have no idea what's going to happen that day. It's kind of exciting.
I mean, my neighbor across the street has a pool, and the kids all decide on their own. They're like, "We're gonna have a night swim party." Again, we're probably all gonna get COVID, but they were like, "Let's have a night swim party." So we're like, "Okay," and so we're all just sitting, hanging out. The parents are hanging out, and the kids are like having a time of their lives in the pool.
We would just like, I don't know if you guys probably did this. Like, we would have these like big like hockey games in the street, and then kids would just show up, and then like you'd meet them that way, basically. Or basketball.
I feel like that was older though. I feel like that was like junior high and high school.
Oh yeah. No, but but just in general. I mean, I'm not saying your kids.
Right no. Yeah, no. I feel like we used to do that also. I just feel like it started a little later, maybe 6th grade, maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, even that probably doesn't happen as much these days. Like everything's scheduled. So
no, because you'd be playing in the street. They don't just
congregate on their own.
You can't play in the street anymore.
I mean, I'll let you guys know.
Yeah.
So you've basically completely given up on protecting yourself from the coronavirus.
We can talk about it on the show if you want. You can talk about how unsafe I am. Do you want to talk about it on the show, or you want to have a whole 40-minute show beforehand?
This is the show.
This been the show for the whole time.
Yeah, you've been.
Okay.
Welcome to the Brink of Sanity, Mark.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So basically, and I mean, we're fucking morons, I guess, but it's like you don't want your kids to be isolated. It's tough on your kids, less tough on you for your kids to be isolated. So you start opening yourself up a little bit, and now it's basically the same kids. There aren't it's not like we're introducing new kids every week, but there are a decent amount of kids that now my kids like to hang out with, and everything. If you look at it, like my daughter was like, "Oh, a friend moved in across the street that she was already friends with," and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go play with her," but she goes to camp. How dumb are we for playing with that kid because she goes to camp? Oh, we're playing with so and so. Oh, that parent started going back into the office. Little by little, I realize how fucking retarded we are. And we're educated people who are concerned about the coronavirus. Our nation is fucked.
I have a question. Do they make the kids wear masks? Or they just kind of...
Because it's like... No,
just in general.
There's no social distancing from the kids whatsoever.
Yeah, because I can imagine masks with kids, it's not going to work. I mean...
I guess in school, because the kids respect the teachers, and the teachers say it. They to a certain extent they will, but at least playing outdoor, we only play outdoors. But actually, we only play outdoors. But I was we were at a friend's that moved in across the street, and the guy was like, "Oh, you want a tour of the house?" I was like, "You'd let me in your house?" He's like, "Sure." I'm like, why not?
I mean, masks are tough as adults. I mean, honestly, because at work, I'm supposed to keep it on most of the day, and it's just for kids, it's impossible. I can't imagine.
Jay, is it okay if my kids come to visit you?
You're never hanging out with me ever again.
So the kids are impossible to keep separated. It's as far as social distancing, you're just stop wrestling with each other.
Yeah.
And I just don't think anything we're doing, I don't think it's on the scale of 1 to 10 as far as unsafe, I think we're at a 5 or 6.
I would call this DEFCON 1.
Yeah, but I would say I don't think we're that out of the ordinary. We're not like these bizarre, like, fuck, I love Trump kind of thing. Like, pretty liberal community. I just think all these families with kids are just like,
I mean, there's not a good answer. Like, what do you do? Like, you can't just keep your kids locked in forever. It's like it's not good for them, you know.
I know one family with like the parents were like the pretty hardcore about, like, actually I know a couple families that were pretty hardcore about things, and now they flipped the completely opposite way.
Yeah,
not like not like we should, just like they flipped in the sense of they've been like, they're hanging out now, they're totally open about hanging out, they're like, I can't do this to my kids, I have to have them socialize, and they just flip the other way. And
I mean,
actually,
if it's like a finite amount of time, fine. But when it gets into like 3, 6, 9 months, it's like, you know,
actually,
you gotta make some decisions. You know,
there was one again. There's one. I talked to one person who basically told me when I was talking to them how they do not believe in wearing a mask.
That's
and I was like, I was like, I cannot believe I'm within 10 feet of you. I'm so screwed.
I'm getting anxiety just listening to your daily life.
I know my kids every day. They play around the neighborhood, and I saw my cousin the other day, and the way she described it, I mean, it might be worse for them, but like anytime I talked to other parents, it sounded like in her community where she lived, it was the same thing. Everyone who talked to parents, this is what it's like. Like what Jay's doing, where he doesn't leave his house, like he leaves his house once a day, and that's it. Jay, you're gonna be fine, but the rest of the nation's screwed. You might as well just go with Jay.
I'm gonna be like I Am Legend.
Yes. You're gonna be that guy from the Twilight Zone who, like, he's the last man on Earth, and it's like Jay's glasses will break and he can't read his comic books anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Jay got LASIK.
Yeah, that's true.
My LASIK will wear off as soon as everyone else is gone.
Yeah.
No, LASIK can't. There's no Yelp to write bad review on anymore. Can't get new LASIK.
You actually get coronavirus, but the only effect it has is that it reverses your LASIK.
I can't believe you're being so reckless.
Am I finally coming out how reckless I'm being? I wasn't so reckless before. At first, my son would play with a friend across the street. Like, despite the whole time when we were locked down, he would still see this one friend across the street. We'd ride bikes together. And then slowly, as it got warmer, it got more and more reckless. They suddenly were playing the kids up the street, and then the kids around the block, and the kids around the other block.
I mean, my parents' neighborhood, I came home from work one day, and I couldn't even fit in between, like, basically there were cars just lined up and down. Apparently, someone was having a giant party, and it must have been like 50, to 75 cars. And I'm like, that's not like a thing that should be happening.
I mean, but it's happening everywhere. Like, it's not always gatherings of 50 people.
Yeah.
But people have people in their backyard all the time.
Yeah, I mean, like a smaller get together may or may not be okay. Well, I guess we're progressing in stages. So, but like, having
are we though?
75 people at one place is like probably not.
I have to say, sometimes people are wearing, like, they'll get, like, it'll be some kind of gathering, and some people will, like, it'll be a kid's, like, little birthday thing, and some people were wearing masks, and no one says anything. No one says you shouldn't wear a mask. I mean, we're not, like, psycho. But, like, they look at them, and they're the only people wearing masks. Like, there's, like, 2 or 3 people wearing masks.
That was when I went over.
That's stupid.
My girlfriend's friends had a party, and I went over, and it was me and one other guy out of 30 people that were wearing masks.
Yeah, so as far as I sound like I'm crazy, and like I am totally, all the stuff is outdoors. Jay went to an indoor birthday party.
No, I was told it was outdoor, and then I got there and it's indoor, and I'm like, what's the deal? You told me it was, and like, oh, they decided it was hot, so they're going to bring it indoors.
The other thing about the mask thing, like if you go to a party and you wear a mask and no one else does, you're still vulnerable. It's really the other people wearing the mask that protects you. Like, the transmission is more like, stopped if the other people are wearing the mask.
Well,
so Jay wasn't safe at all this party?
No.
Well, I didn't need to hear that.
You saw it, Jay. Did you get confused and think the outdoors was indoors, indoors was outdoors? Because she told you got there, you're like, it looks indoors, and she's like, it is, and you're like, fine, I'll go indoors. Why didn't you stop?
Stop what?
Not stop the party. Why didn't you just not go indoors?
I didn't. There was like one chair outside, and I sat outside like alone for hours.
No, you told me you were you were sitting by the door, but you were inside. Don't change your story, Jay.
I sat inside at the beginning to eat, and then as soon as I finished eating, I went outside.
Jay, I don't know if I want you by me, Jay. I think maybe you're taking more risks than I do. We haven't ate indoors yet, Jay. We eat indoors at our house. We don't take those risks, Jay. You're in there, opening your mouth next to other people eating, sucking in their Corona.
The one guy at my table, I was at a table with two people, and it was a pretty big table, so we were probably 6 feet away from each other. But one of the guys is like, "Yeah, this whole eating indoors with coronavirus. If one of us had it, we'd probably all have it right now." And I immediately stopped eating and just put on my mask.
Eating is like, I mean, you can't keep a mask on when eating, obviously. So it's like you're basically screwed.
Doc, in your professional opinion, do you think you're safe from corona if the person you live with was at the indoor party sucking in all the corona and then bringing it back to your apartment? Jay?
I mean, it depends on if she got it or not, I guess.
So I guess like she took what your significant other did, Jay, was more dangerous than what any of my what we've done here.
Yeah, but
she's bringing it back to you. You're screwed either way.
She's also a nurse, so it's like she's exposed already, kind of. So
you're also doing it like every day.
Who's more likely to catch the coronavirus, me or Jay? Me, we're outdoors. Our kids are all over other kids throughout the neighborhood. Jay sends his wife into the ER and his girlfriend into the ER and sends her into the into indoor parties.
I don't know. I mean, it all depends on if she gets it or not. But if she gets it, then obviously he has a higher chance.
Jay, who are you betting on, Jay?
You're doing this every day. This was like a one-time thing. You're like,
where was she at another party pretty recently?
The one 2 days ago was outdoor.
Oh, okay. So it's not. She's not doing it once in a while. There's another party. How many parties is she going to?
I don't know. I'm not keeping track.
Would you be upset if you found out she was going to Corona parties?
Yeah, I'd be packing my bags or hers.
What kind of conversation would that be? Like, you find out your significant other is actually trying to get the virus.
I'd be
can we cut to that scene?
I'd be like, maybe we should like wife swap with Bri.
Can we cut to that scene? Hey, Jay. I've decided I'm just gonna go with herd immunity. I'm gonna get the virus myself. What do you think, Jay?
I think you've lost your goddamn mind.
Well, Jay, if you want to socially distance from me, that's fine. But we're living in the same apartment, and I'm going to give it to you also.
Okay.
When you're sleeping, I'm going to huff it into that mask you wear.
Well, joke's on you because I'm never sleeping again.
Doc, what's new with you?
Nothing. Just I'm back to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Not fun.
Do you think an actor should be able to play someone that's not themselves in a movie? Like, for instance, Halle Berry was going to play. What was she going to play, Jay?
She was going to play a trans man, right?
Yeah, she's going to play a trans. A trans man would be a woman that's a man, or a man.
Wait, your question is, can an actor or actress play someone that they're not? Isn't that like what that means?
I thought that was the whole point of acting.
That's what they do.
So Jay had alerted me to this, that apparently Halle Berry, and I guess it's not a trans woman would mean a man that became a woman, right? And trans man would be the.
Sure.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Yes, you're right.
Okay, Brink of Sanity, where you learn all about the trans lifestyle.
Labels.
What's wrong?
Transpod.
So basically, Twitter, and I guess whatever social media was so mad at Halle Berry saying that trans role should have gone to an actual trans man. What do you think about that, Doc?
Wait, who was mad? Halle Berry was mad?
A bunch of people on Twitter.
Bunch of people online. You know, the people that really matter online, social media.
Yeah. I mean, you could be mad. I mean, it's still like it's the choice of whoever's casting, basically.
So I was thinking that we should probably, it's wrong. Halle Berry should never have tried to play a trans man. They should only have a trans man play a trans man. And
if the trans person sucks at acting, what would you rather have? Like someone who could act or someone
PC is more important than actual enjoyment from movies.
So I was trying to think of other movies that like where they should use the same. I think this principle should be used throughout. All movies should actors should only play characters that are just like themselves. Like Weekend at Bernie's, it's bullshit. They should have gotten an actual corpse to play that role.
That dances when music plays.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, they shouldn't make another Pirates of the Caribbean until they find an actual pirate.
Yeah, they have to use real pirates.
Forrest Gump. They should get an actual retard. That's the politically correct term, by the way. An actual retard to play that role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, unless they find lifelike robots, there should be no more Transformers movies.
Jurassic Park. No more Jurassic Park so they can actually bring back dinosaurs.
Yeah, actual dinosaurs.
It's bullshit.
It really is. I mean, think of all the people.
Look who's talking. Until they can figure out how to get that baby to talk, we're not doing any more movies.
Mm-hmm. I'm not watching any more Star Treks till they find an actual Vulcan. Spock's a Vulcan, Mark.
Yeah. Is he? I don't know what a Vulcan. I don't think.
I knew you didn't know that one.
So all like the X-Men movies, like you'd actually have to have like mutants with superpowers.
Got to have real mutants.
Any World War II movie, we have to actually reenact World War II.
And it has to be
create world wars.
Real Nazis.
I don't know. I don't want to see any more World War II movies then.
You don't want to see a bunch of real Nazis get killed? If
based on this principle, really, you should stop making Schindler's List right now. That's fucked up.
I think it's just insane that people are upset about that.
You're supposed to be actors. Like
I mean, it's like like the number of people who are trans is obviously a very small fraction, and then to find like an actor that could play the role, it's like you're making it impossible for anything to ever be made.
Well, also, people go to the movies to see Halle Berry. If you say, hey, here's this unknown trans man in this movie, a lot less people are going to go see the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue that like if the person is good, that's fine, but the chance of you finding someone, with the talent, someone like Halle Berry.
I'm done with all of this. Hire this, hire that. Hire the person most qualified for the role, and that's it. If she's a better actress than whoever tried out, then give her the role. I feel like it should be like that everywhere.
I think if you want to play like a disabled person, you have to cut off your own legs. Show you're into the role.
It'd be really terrible if you didn't get the role.
I cannot believe I didn't get the role. This is really and I've also typecast myself going forward.
Bob cut off both legs and an arm. He one-upped me.
You're like, I heard they're making a Forrest Gump Part 2, so I'm gonna drink until I'm actually have brain damage.
I'm just gonna hit my head against this wall over and over again.
And they're like, well, we want to make another Independence Day, but fucking aliens won't get here.
The person who wants to try out for Forrest Gump should just play in like a real football game and just get like tackled over and over again.
No helmet.
Yeah, no helmet.
The big reveal at the end of Forrest Gump was just because of a football injury. At the end, they're like, football's just a very violent game. That's what happened to him, really.
His parents signed him up.
People for...
Yeah, his parents signed him up for Little League. That's what happens.
That's what happened.
I know you guys do the Knicks podcast, but what do you think about all the sports coming back?
By the way, I said to Jay, I'm like, hey, the Knicks hired a coach. This is the only thing that's going to happen between now and December, or now until the draft. Jay, should we do an emergency episode because they hired a coach? And Jay's like, no, let's wait till next week. I mean, who gives a shit? They have a coach.
Well, I mean, you answered the question yourself. You said nothing's going to happen until like December, and I'm like, yeah. So why rush an episode?
It's our only emergency episode we have. Like, they got a coach. We should talk about it. I don't know. We have like 7 fans give us money on Patreon. Don't they want to hear our fucking retarded opinion about Tom Thibodeau?
We're going to be
also Marc could have an interview with Marc from 5 years ago.
Yes.
Because like, didn't you? You really wanted him to be the coach? Like,
I did. That is correct. Doc is absolutely correct. I wanted 5 years. I wanted him, and I'm down. I'm going to stick with that.
Spoiler for the next Knicks podcast episode.
Jay, what do you think about Tibbs? Like,
are we doing this?
what do I think about sports coming back?
Yeah, like just in general. I mean, like baseball starting and all that stuff.
Yeah, no. I wonder if the Marlins. I mean, the Marlins like have to they have to stop playing because they're testing the whole team, and now they're testing the Phillies. I think also.
Yeah. I think it's a big risk, and they're already like it's going to be like one person gets positive, and it's going to be like a disaster.
I mean,
but they've had a lot of positives already.
Didn't they?
Right, but I'm just saying, like, if it starts like turning out that they're just spreading it amongst themselves.
Yeah, I mean,
at what point do you just stop? You know,
Jay, who is more reckless, me and my kids, or Major League Baseball?
You and your kids.
I don't know. Major League Baseball seems a little more reckless than we are.
There's no contact in baseball.
We're not traveling to different cities.
So
we're staying in our own neighborhood where the numbers are low. We're not like, let's go to Boston. Let's go to Atlanta.
Did they play any games before it got shut down?
The baseball's not shut down. But
everyone has COVID and they're like, play ball.
So it just started. They're a couple games in. The Marlins already shut that. The Marlins, 4 players tested positive, and they shut the Marlins down because they're going to test the rest of the team. They played the Phillies pretty recently, so they shut down the Phillies also. And I guess it's going to keep happening.
I think the problem is it's inevitable. It's going to, they're traveling to all these places. It's like they're going to have to shut down eventually.
So a bunch of players from NBA and Major League Baseball have gotten it already. But they've all kind of just been – a lot of them have gotten it, and they're back to playing. Or back with their team. Yeah, I don't understand. They're like, I got the coronavirus. Yeah, it's real bad. Anyway, I'm ready to start tonight. I not that it should like kill everyone, but it's amazing how like.
Yeah, this virus, it's like it runs like the whole gamut. I think it goes from not even knowing you have it to obviously the other extreme. But like
the goddamn president of Brazil said he's cured. He's like, I'm fine. Wasn't a big deal. He called it a hoax. Got it. Was better in a week, and now he's like, it's still a hoax.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, to be honest. Like, they're going to play.
Think the season's going to finish?
No, they're going to play like 10 more games, and then they're going to be down to like 7 teams, and they're going to be like, yeah, this isn't working. And the NBA is going to be even worse.
What do you think is a better plan? The Major League Baseball is like trying to limit the travel, but they're traveling from different cities. Yes, obviously the NBA is like, we're all bubble. What do you think is a better plan?
The NBA.
Yeah, the bubble has a better chance of working.
Yeah.
But the problem with the bubble is, like, if enough people get it inside the bubble, then the bubble doesn't matter anymore.
Right. And then football is still playing ongoing in the fall, which I don't know how
the other thing is, it's like, what's the enforcement? I mean, are all the players still, what about all the staff, like all the people that, clean or whatever? Like, there's going to be in and out traffic.
Yeah. I saw a thing also, like, there were, like, girls online saying that, like, so-and-so player invited them into the bubble because all the guys still want to get laid.
Yeah.
How do you're really going to trust a bunch of 20-year-olds to, like,
no,
just totally
there's no
keep
way.
safe?
I mean, unless you have, like, a prison, which, you're not going to really have, so.
Yeah, this isn't going to work out at all.
I don't know anything's going to work. Doc, what's going to happen to the next 6 months? Like, how does it all end? I mean, humanity. How does it all end?
It just ends. It's just like, Earth is done with us.
Okay.
No, I mean, I don't know. It's still a little. Some of the stuff's up in the air. I mean, really, it's a question of like the places that have already gotten, outbreaks. Like, is it going to happen again at those places? How much immunity do the populations get once it goes through? That's going to make a big difference.
It says the Yankees are on lockdown also.
Really?
They lost 3 teams in 4 days.
That's insane.
The Yankees spent the day locked down waiting to see how the test came taken by the Phillies earlier in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, when the NBA originally shut down, I mean, I think they did a good job because, if they didn't shut down, this would have happened, obviously, 4 months ago, whatever that was. This is the way it works. It's like you get a couple of cases, and then all of a sudden everybody has it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were smart about it.
But it's like you open up again, and it's like you're gonna just have the same thing happen again.
Okay, so let's change topics. Let's go. Let's finish the coronavirus. Unless you guys have anything else to add about the coronavirus or protests or any of the horror going on.
Yeah, we can move on from the horror.
I'm actually keep it. Sorry, I'm gonna keep with the horror and stuff. But I have a question. So, let's just say you have the current knowledge you have, and kind of a Groundhog Day. You keep waking up, and it's January 1st of 2020, and you have to prevent as many events you have to prevent some of these things from happening. What could you do, basically? Like, what could you save? Could you could you have saved Kobe Bryant? You know he's gonna die.
I mean, if you knew exactly like which day not to take the helicopter, I guess.
Well, of course, yeah. But you're you.
Yeah.
Can you get to the word to Kobe Bryant that he's going to die? Like, let's say you remember exactly which day he died. Could you save Kobe?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know if we could get a message to him or whether he would believe us.
Yeah, I don't think you could unless you I mean, you could sit there and try and spam his Twitter and hope he sees it.
Could you?
But there's no way he would believe it. Like that's.
But even if he did, say all right, say you spam his Twitter.
He's getting blocked on Twitter. I'm trying to save his goddamn life.
Well, no, say you keep spamming his Twitter and he sees it, and he goes on the helicopter anyway, and he dies. Other people are going to see those tweets, and you're going to be arrested.
Yes. So you basically will try to save Kobe, and you'll be in jail.
Yeah, because they're going to think you did something to that helicopter.
Yes, that didn't work out.
Because they're going to be like, how'd you know? And he'd be like, oh, well, you ever see that Bill Murray movie from the 80s? That's happening to me.
So basically, if I had that information, I would basically do nothing because it's not.
Oh, they did another Groundhog Day type movie. You guys watch Palm Springs? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
No.
Jay, you have Hulu, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Andy Samberg. He's at some wedding in Palm Springs, and he wakes up. He gets stuck in a time loop, basically the Groundhog Day thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's worth watching. I mean, it's not like it is a okay movie, but it's good enough to actually be worth watching.
You know what's a better Groundhog Day movie?
Groundhog Day.
Happy Death Day.
Oh, is that good?
Yeah, it's good. So it's basically a woman who gets killed, and then she wakes up and it's the same morning, and basically she just gets killed over and over and over, and she keeps trying to figure out how not to get murdered. It's good.
The plot sounds like I've heard of it before, but I don't remember. I haven't heard of that name.
There was a Tom Cruise movie that was like that too.
There was a what movie?
Tom Cruise movie, Live, Die, Repeat.
Oh, I think that's the one I've seen. Yeah.
That one was good, just because you got to see Tom
it was
Cruise.
Like he was on an alien space. Like there was something like it was set in the future, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you get to see Tom Cruise get murdered over and over and over. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies.
So when did this movie come out? The one Jay you just mentioned?
About 5 years ago. The sequel came out last year.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see the sequel yet.
Oh, there's a sequel too.
Yep.
So you say it's worth watching?
Yeah.
There was a TV series actually that had the same premise that it only lasted one season, but I think it's on Netflix. It was called Daybreak. But someone also he gets murdered. A famous actor was who's the actor in this? Whatever. Taye Diggs. He gets murdered and he has to solve the murder. It was actually a pretty solid show. I didn't get renewed for second season.
There was another show, Russian Doll, with the same plot.
Russian Doll was overrated. It was okay. I don't know. What did you think of it?
I thought that I watched the preview and decided not to watch it.
I would watch. I like Palm Springs better than I like Russian Doll. Okay, so what about the coronavirus? Coronavirus is an awful event. Obviously, by January 1st, it was already going in parts of the world. Do you think you could have saved American lives? And that's all that matters. American lives. Sorry, we don't care about the rest of the world.
I mean, without power, you can't do anything.
But you know it's going to be horrible. Is there anything you could do honestly,
by January, I think a lot of people, there weren't people knew about it. Like I was kind of thinking it'd be pretty horrible, but I couldn't do anything about it either.
So we're really powerless with all this information to save people. We're completely powerless.
I mean, the information was there. I mean, whether you thought it was going to come here or not, I guess.
Right, but now you actually lived it. You know, 150,000 Americans have died so far. You know this. Is there anything you could have done? I mean, maybe could you have made any significant changes?
No, I mean,
if you knew this information going in, would you start some kind of campaign to like, I don't know, like just talk to everyone you know and be like, I'm from the future. I've seen this.
No, because I don't think the problem was lack of knowing. It was more about we didn't know what to do, how to prevent it. I guess the mask thing maybe. Yeah, I guess I could have tried to like get more people to wear masks, but I don't know how much power. I mean, how much power do I have?
Yeah, I know.
Like,
they're not listening to the main doctor. They're like painting him as a criminal, like some people are. And were they going to listen to a random doctor or random people?
God damn it, we're not solving anything.
I mean, power is important, and obviously,
so
it's people respecting, other people that have information.
Okay, George Floyd. Are you guys gonna be able to save George Floyd?
No way.
What do you mean? You could actually fly to Minnesota and just on the day that it happened and tell, hey George, you might want to sit this one out. Just stay home today. Why? What's gonna happen? Trust me, stay home today.
Just give him a non-counterfeit 20. Or isn't that what?
Yeah. Be like the guy's like, you right? No. It was me. It was my 20. It was my 20. You guys, and I'm white. Don't kill me.
I'm actually not white, so.
Yeah. Do you think you could stay? I think you could have saved George Floyd.
That would probably be the easiest one of the three.
Yeah, I mean, if you could get to like George Floyd himself, you'd have a better shot. Because
I mean, you fly to Minnesota, you look up, like you ask me, hey, who's George Floyd? Oh, I haven't heard of him. You will. What about the guy in Atlanta? You could save him. You could be like, you get there like an hour before and just drive his car home.
I mean, I guess with coronavirus, you can write down something that happened on each day, and you start telling people what's about to happen, and when they don't believe you, be like, all right, well, tomorrow, George Floyd's going to get murdered. The day after, Kobe's going to get crash in a helicopter crash. You just keep predicting the news in advance, and eventually I think people might believe you and start taking you seriously.
I mean, the biggest thing that could have changed is maybe like the mask recommendation could have come earlier, and that would have made a difference probably. Like,
you call up people like you don't want to take this Royal Diamond Cruise, whatever it was.
Yeah. I mean,
the cruise ship, but the problem is the cruise ship was just like what happened in the cruise ship pretty much happened everywhere else. Like it just was earlier, but still, like I don't think the cruise ship was like the problem. It was just
you go to the airport, tell like TSA agents like everyone needs to wear a mask when they come through here. You got to make sure, like, tell them how serious this is. They got to quarantine.
Yeah,
you can try to save some lives. The mask thing is big, though. You're right.
Yeah, the mask thing is big. I mean, I think even like to the health people, Department of Health and stuff, they didn't realize the masks would help this much.
Well, I mean, Fauci said not to wear a mask at the beginning.
Yeah, because based on the information they had, people. First of all, everyone couldn't get a mask probably, or I guess, and people thought that the cloth masks that you can make at home weren't going to be really protective. But it turned out that.
Yeah, haven't they recently said even the cloth, even like forgetting the fact that they protect other people, aren't they like protecting you to some extent also? Not fully.
Yeah, it does, but it's like it's a percentage. Yeah, so I mean, if you're the only one that's wearing a cloth mask and no one else is, it probably gives you a very small amount of protection. But if everyone's wearing a cloth mask, it makes a big difference. Because when you talk.
Go on.
When you talk and stuff, I mean, everyone kind of releases stuff into the air, and if you have coronavirus, even if you have a cloth mask on, that stops that from happening a lot.
Okay, the fires in Australia. Anything you can do about that? But that was already on fire, right?
I don't know. I don't know. I think a lot of that has to do with the weather.
Is Australia still on fire?
I don't know.
Have we just stopped talking about that?
We have a lot of Australian listeners. Let us know if you're still running.
I don't think they're letting anyone in or out, so maybe we just
Australia. Are you any of your listeners on fire right now? Could we have saved Regis Philburn's life?
Maybe instead of just stopping all travel to Australia, they stopped all communication, so nobody knows.
Yeah.
That would be the American way.
It's still on everyone in Australia's already been burned to death, but we just don't know that yet.
Or maybe it's Australia wanting to protect their citizens from bad information coming from America.
I wouldn't be surprised if we were blacked out from the rest of the world.
Yeah, Australia is we don't need to hear this anti-mask propaganda coming from the U.S.
Maybe Australia, they're we don't want people visiting here. Just say we're on fire. No one's going to believe you're just on fire. Yeah, just tell everyone we're on fire. They'll stop traveling here.
The Americans won't come. They'll believe anything.
Oh, well, honey, I guess we can't go there. The whole country's on fire. Okay.
Just have Trump say Australia's not on fire, and half the country will immediately say it is on fire.
Is there anything that's happened? What else has happened this year? I mean, the whole world has been a complete shit show.
I mean, murder hornets and...
Jay, can you stop the murder hornets?
No. Nope.
That one, that's probably the... Actually, I don't know what's going on with the murder hornets, but I'm pretty sure I could not stop the murder hornets.
No.
I don't think anybody can stop the murder hornets.
What else happened? Trump was not impeached. Could you gone back and just told the Democrats this was a waste of time?
I was saying that from the beginning. I was like, if you don't have any power, if the Senate, is not going to convict, it kind of just makes you look weak, basically.
You'd be like, listen, this is a complete waste of time. But if we don't do this, we don't impeach him, how do we get him out of the office? Just wait. It's just going to get so much worse from here. Don't worry about it.
I mean, it's they could have at least got feeled out who would be in support for impeachment before doing it. And they kind of rushed the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, they just felt like they he forced their hand where they had to do it, even though they knew it wasn't going anywhere. And just kind of a waste. I heard there was an interview with John Bolton, who claims he had much more information about that he was doing the same
but
thing.
It's okay, that's not useful now.
Well, but they said to him well, why didn't you come forward during the whole trial? And he said, what was the point? I wasn't going to change any votes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but it would have drawn more attention, as opposed to him coming out with the book later. No one cared because
he gets to make money on the book. He said also with the book I get to say everything I want without anyone distorting what I said versus getting 2-minute sound bites.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it was kind of a no-win situation probably, but I think that everyone's was focused on it sort of, so it would have drawn some attention. I don't know. The whole system. I mean, impeachment is we just kind of learn how weak it is as a way of getting the president out. If you don't have control over the Senate, you kind of
Doc, along the same lines, how are Jay and I going to make $1 million? There's Jay, did you listen to that podcast?
I did, yeah.
Okay, so we listened to this podcast about this guy who made an online course. In the podcast is called Choose 5. You listen to it. It's about financial independence. Anyway, the guy in this show made an online course about how to play the piano. And he ended up making, I think, almost $2 million with this online course he released about how to play the piano. It was called How to Play the Piano in 21 Days. Okay. And so I was thinking Jay and I should come up with, or the Brink of Sanity show, and you're included, you could have part of the $1 million. We should come up with our own online Brink of Sanity course.
Okay.
What kind of course? I'm looking for ideas here, Doc. What kind of course?
If you do something with the stock market, how to make money on the stock market, because you make a lot of money, just because people want to make money.
Okay, how do we make money on this? What advice do we give? You should sell high and buy low.
You don't actually have to be good at it. You just have to convince people that you are good at it. It's a different thing.
I was thinking we can make an online course of how to not make money podcasting. Do you think people would go for that?
I think it's funny.
I mean,
It's along the lines of the work hates Jay thing. Like, let's go with the how to not make money podcasting a decade in.
Between this and the Knicks podcast, we have over 1,000 hours of content, and we make no money.
None. Free content up so much free content, no one cares.
That'd actually be a good name for a podcast. The How to Not Make Money podcast.
There we go, Jay. How to not make money on a podcast. So what's our lesson one? So let's lay this out, Jay.
Spend a lot of money on equipment.
Lesson one: spend money on equipment. Just what the hell? People are going to want to listen to your show. You're positive. Go all out with equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Lesson two: come up with a podcast name that's not searchable. The Knicks one was very searchable, but Brink of Sanity is not very searchable.
Yeah,
no one stumbles upon the word Brink of Sanity.
Yeah.
The Knicks, the Knicks are like people. There's obviously a good number of Knicks fans out there, despite them not being good. Like that just brings an audience,
Yeah. Well, I guess like the Field of Dreams kind of thing we have going for it. If you build it, they will come. Which apparently doesn't happen 500.
I was surprised at how few Knicks podcasts there were. Like, I mean, there's a few, but like, it's not. I thought there would be like infinite amounts of podcasts. It's actually not that many.
It's not a saturated field.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to torture themselves talking about this garbage team all the time.
Yeah.
It's such a terrible team. It's such a horrible team. At least I kind of want to give up on the Knicks one, but more people listen to the Knicks one.
But I mean, what about like? Do you think there's a Brooklyn Nets podcast?
I'm sure there are, but I don't know any offhand.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying like, there's probably a ton of teams that don't have that many podcasts dedicated to the team.
Jay, should we switch over to like the Milwaukee Bucks podcast?
There's already an established one.
Oh, okay. Well, let's pick a team that doesn't have the Charlotte Hornets. I bet they don't have a podcast.
Every single one does. We were part of a network that had a podcast for every team.
This sounds familiar.
But there's there's room though. I mean, honestly, like you can have more than one podcast. People, if you're obsessed with a team, you'll listen to more than one.
I don't even want to do the two we have.
No, no, but the point was that people can get to it, and like if they're interested, they'll find your podcast.
Jay, Doc here hangs out with coronavirus patients. I just hang out with people in our neighborhood that may or may not have it. Who would you rather hang out with right now? Who would you rather have in your apartment, me or Doc? So I'm hanging out with people I don't know if they have it. Doc knows the people he hangs out with actually have it.
I mean, I'm not hanging out with them. They're not like I'm not at a party with them.
I've got the coronavirus. Do you want to play chess?
I mean, it's pretty different. Like, knowing that they already have it and everyone's like wearing masks, and obviously, if you minimize the amount of time you're in there, the risk is a lot less.
I feel like the Doc is being way more responsible than you are, Mark.
I mean, obviously. But you guys don't have kids, and you're not morons like me.
Honestly, like, even in the hospital, like, all the people that got coronavirus, pretty much all of them got it not in the hospital. Like, everyone who, like nurses and other doctors, they're like, oh, yeah, no, we got it from, like, my kid's friend's parents or whatever. Like, there was always somewhere else they got it from. In the hospital setting, once everyone was wearing masks, the transmission's pretty low, actually.
So no one in your hospital actually got it from the hospital?
I'm sure there could have been
as far as you know.
Most people were like, oh no, I probably got it from, like the woman I work with. She's like, oh yeah, I was at a big church gathering and blah blah blah. Like, it's the big group gatherings like outside the hospital that most people got it from.
Did she say that? And you're like, I'm gonna put back my mask on right now.
No, everyone was still wearing masks, but I mean, we actually found out like a month after she already had it because she was on nights. I wasn't working then, and she had already taken off and came back later.
Jay, would you break up with your girlfriend if she found out she had it and to hid it from you? She found out she got positive, just went on things were normal in the apartment and just said, hey, it was a mild case. I don't want to bother you.
Yeah.
What would you rather? Your girlfriend does this with the coronavirus, where she gets it, doesn't mention it to you, and just keeps living with you, or she cheats on you.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Cheats on me.
Oh God!
I am.
That's fun.
And I'll say, if she cheats on you, the person she could cheat on with you has been very careful about it. So,
well, of course.
Yeah, I am absolutely terrified. I don't need any of this.
But Jay, like a lot of world-class athletes have had it and been totally fine. You should be fine too, Jay.
Yeah. If only I had the immune system of a world-class athlete.
Should we be like, Doc? Should we all be training now, like going for runs every day, just to like get ourselves like in like good shape so we're ready for the coronavirus?
I mean, it gives you a better shot, but I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like you probably have to go back in time. Most people, like including myself. I mean, like it's like, yeah, it only would make a difference if you were like doing it for a while.
Jay, if you found out, both of you, if you found out like if you got into like amazing you got down to your ideal weight, you would not, like, you had from January 1st until now, if you got down to your ideal weight, you'd be basically immune from the coronavirus. Could you do it?
I would try my best. Yeah.
The problem is once the coronavirus hit, like a lot of gyms shut down. Now it's like 95 degrees outside every day. Like there's limited options as to what you can do.
It's true. I'm pretty sure going for a run around 2:00 today would be like more dangerous than the actual coronavirus.
Yeah. You definitely like harm yourself. So like on my weeks working, like on the weekends, we have a gym upstairs that they use for cardiac rehab. As soon as this happened, like I was like, crap, I can't use that anymore. So it's like, the downtime I might have had to like do stuff like that. It's like, and then like the gym in the apartment, like obviously is not operational, and it's like your options run out. Not that I was like going to it a lot anyway, but
Jay, how much weight would you like if you ideally could lose a certain amount of weight? How much weight would you like to lose?
30 pounds.
30 pounds. And like if you like from today on, you were like your doctor said, if you lost 30 pounds, even if you get the coronavirus, it won't be a big deal. Like how long do you think it would take you?
I don't know, but I'm actually
you're real inspiration. You're almost like you almost have immunity from coronavirus once you get down to those 30.
I'm actually trying to do that now, so we'll see.
What's your routine or your method?
Nothing crazy, just exercising a little more and portion control, and really, I think that's all I need. Like eating a little bit healthier. I'm gonna try and cut out a lot of meat and just add more fruits and vegetables to the mix. I mean, nothing earth-shattering, but I think I also want something that's like a lifestyle change that I could stick with. Like
that sounds very sustainable.
Diet is very important because Jay's right. Like, if you do something for like a week or two and you're not going to keep doing it, it's not going to work.
I could eat celery sticks, starting tomorrow and lose 30 pounds. But then, like, as soon as I start eating regular food again, I'm going to gain it all back. So,
yeah, and people come with these crazy. They're like, okay, so I run in place for 16 hours, don't eat for a month, and then I eat more broccoli, and then it works. It's very sustainable.
Yeah.
I mean, I give it patient's advice. I usually say like add one thing, give it like 2 weeks, and then add something. Do it slowly, like one thing at a time. And if you allow time to sink in, it becomes part of your routine. You end up sticking with it rather than just doing a whole bunch of new things at once and then just reverting back to what you used to do.
Yeah.
So you tell them, like, listen, this is a good idea. Try to change one or two things. Fatty, if you don't do this, Fatty, you're probably going to die from corona. Come on.
Yeah, fatty.
Get the fuck, start running now. Don't fucking take your car home.
Yeah. I turn into the guy on like Scrubs or whatever that just makes fun of everybody.
What else is going on, guys? Jay, is work, anyone scream at you from work today?
I didn't work today. I did laundry today, and I can't even do laundry without getting furious.
What happened?
As I'm walking in, I see there's somebody right behind me. So I hold the door for this lady. Doesn't say thank you.
Well, how close is she? Like, are you like, do you purpose? Because I would think Jay would be like, I can't hold the door for this person. They'll be too close to me.
I mean, well, I assumed because there's a big sign on the door that says you can't even come in without a mask. So I hold the door open, doesn't say thank you. I turn around, not wearing a mask. So I already got pissed off twice. So then,
did you say anything to this Karen?
No. I was hoping the lady who worked there would have. So then there's 2 washers that I was going to use. And so I put my bag on one and I start putting my clothes in the other one. The lady walks right to the one with my bag on it and puts her clothes in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So she pissed me off 3 times in about 30 seconds.
I thought putting your bag on top of a washing machine is like how you're like calling it, basically.
Yeah. So this bitch isn't wearing a mask. She's using the washer I claimed. That would be like going to an arcade back when there was arcades and you had your quarter on the on the monitor and somebody just walks up and puts their quarter in. Like that would be a fight.
Did you say anything to her?
No, because I feel like if she's that obnoxious, she's probably going to cough on me.
God.
And if somebody coughs on me, I'm going to start swinging, and then I'm going to be the one who's like, "Oh, I punched a lady." So like, there's no way out of that situation.
It's going to be awkward when you find out she just actually had something in her throat. She's like, and Jay just starts whacking her and like beating her to like half to death.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like there are some people out there that are like trying to like pick a fight with.
Yeah, I think some people really want an argument and they want to get into it. And it's like there's signs all over the place. Please, lady who works there, just see what's going on. But no.
Doc, do you have a question? When you come inside, do you take all the clothes off you had and just take them off when you come inside?
Yeah, because I'm like, if I was living alone, I might not do it, but like I come back to my parents' house, so yeah. I put it in like a laundry bag. Basically.
You just ruined Mark's next bit.
Yeah, you really did. I was going to ask if you have an outdoor outfit, but Jay, you're right, Jay. This is my entire bit. Do you know, Doc, that Jay, when he comes inside, go tell about your outdoor outfit, Jay.
No, you've become so irresponsible that you think it's weird that people are being responsible. That's what's happening.
It might be true. That might be true. Doc, do you think it's weird that Jay has a special outfit for going outside? I mean, Doc is he's in a hospital versus Jay's in a laundromat.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not necessary. I mean, I think people, at first, like we thought like, okay, it's on surfaces and you can get it from like getting food and touching stuff. And I mean, obviously you should wash your hands, but the transmission doesn't seem to be as much like sticking on things more than being in the air, I think is the worst. So, I mean, you can never be too careful, I guess, but I think most of that is probably not necessary.
Doc, do you, outside of when you're not working, do you have a special indoor outfit?
No.
Okay. So, see, Jay, I'm not completely insane for thinking you're a bizarre person.
I mean, he's not the only, like, people are doing stuff like that. I'm
going to wear an outfit outside and then just sit on my couch?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're never hanging out in my apartment ever again.
Jay,
I would say that most people, I guess some people are changing. I don't think everyone's changing.
Jay, can I come over your place to play Last of Us?
No.
What if I get the video game and I'll play it at your place?
Nope.
Why not?
You're never coming over again.
What if I'm outside of your apartment? And like I need to come in your apartment or else I'm gonna die.
Yeah, wait a sec. So Jay, if anyone ever comes to your apartment, you want them to change outside?
Nobody's been over my apartment.
He's like, Doc, get naked for me now.
I haven't had anybody over since this started.
Yeah, so I guess basically you're saying that you just wouldn't have people over.
Yes. I haven't had anybody over since this started. I used to have people over all the time.
Right.
But nope.
Okay. You're not the only one. I mean, that's fairly common.
Jay, would you rather go into someone else's apartment or have them come into your apartment? What's?
I'd rather go over somebody else's.
Okay. I thought you would say that actually also. You don't want them invading your space and then like you have to live in that space.
Right.
What if you find out you go to the laundry and you come back and you find out your landlord had sent an exterminator into your apartment? He's like, I'm finally gonna take care of the black mold.
He probably would have killed my cat in the process. So I'd probably be pissed.
Let's say you take the cat with you for whatever reason. You come back, and Hector is dealing with the black mold when you walk in the apartment.
Yeah, I'm angry.
Okay, what are you gonna do though? And Hector's not wearing a mask because he's just not. He thinks the whole thing's a hoax. But he is getting rid of all the black mold. He's gonna be in there for about an hour. What do you do? Where do you sleep that night?
I probably, I don't know, rent a hotel room. I don't even know. I'd probably just never sleep again.
Jay's like, this is really how it ends.
So Mr. C writes, "Hey guys, just wondering, does Trump's Goya endorsement make Marc want to change his black bean buying habits?"
How do you not know it's Goya?
What did I say?
How the hell do you not get that?
What did I say?
Welcome to fucking how do you not know that?
What did I say?
Butchered a 4-letter word.
What did I say?
Goya.
It was like froyo.
I say everything phonetically.
Even Donald Trump knows it's Goya. I cannot believe you thought it was Goya. Have you thought it was Goya this whole time?
I never say it.
It's what he says to people if they show up to his apartment. Goya.
Goya out of here.
Do you want to answer the question, or it's fine?
No, I want to deal with Goya. Do you think, Jay? Do you think there are more people in this country that do you have a better chance of? I can't believe you got this wrong. I can't. What was the question? And could you read the question again, Jay, and use the incorrect pronunciation again?
No.
Why? Why not?
Answer the question, or we're moving on.
I don't know what the question was. I couldn't. After you said the word Goya, I had to stop.
His brain short-circuited.
Is Trump's endorsement of Goya
going
to make you change your bean buying habit?
I thought about that. I was in the supermarket and I was like, Trump kind of hates this, but I don't really.
No, he's endorsing it.
Oh, so he endorsed it. Sorry, I hate because Trump endorsed it. On the other hand, I really even only having I'm sure all brands of black beans are the same. Yeah, I think I'm still gonna buy the Goya black beans. Also, what am I gonna do? Every product out there that Trump endorses, I can't eat anymore.
Yeah, this weekend I went to Costco and I grabbed a case of Goya black beans, and my girlfriend's like, Trump likes those, and I'm like, I literally don't give a shit.
I mean, Trump probably likes chocolate ice cream. We're gonna stop doing that too.
I don't
really understand. Did Goya need Trump's endorsement? I think people buy their beans anyway.
What happened is
why that was a thing.
The president of Goya came out and said something positive about Trump, and everyone flipped out and said they were going to boycott it. So Trump then, after everyone was boycotting it, said, "I like Goya," to kind of negate the people who are boycotting it. But
it's kind of a weird place. We're in a place in society where a company goes, "We support the president," and people are like, "Boycott that company."
It's ridiculous. It's like,
I mean, I'm as anti-Trump as it gets, but the outrage stuff everyone has to be outraged at everything.
You're really gonna make a list of every CEO who is a different political affiliation of you, and then not buy that company's product? You have that much free time?
It also, when you do stuff like that, it takes away from, all the stuff that you might not agree with, a particular president. You're taking the focus off that and getting outraged over the stupidest shit.
Yeah.
We should call every food company dear hello, is this Wonder Bread? We want to know where you stand on immigration.
I mean, honestly, most CEOs are probably Republican, so you just buy nothing.
Yeah. You're also kind of playing into this kind of Trump strategy. He distracts people by these, these. He'll draw attention to stuff like this because it's they're not focusing on all the other shit, all the corruption and all that stuff.
Yeah,
you're focusing on outrage over Goya beans or whatever.
Right. Police are killing people. There are protests everywhere. There's a pandemic going on. You're like, oh my God, this whole Goya thing. This is funny. We have to protest the Goya thing.
There's probably somebody listening right now who's mad at me because I bought a case of Goyas.
What are you making with your Goya black beans?
I'm just gonna put it over rice.
You got a case of Goyas? Now you're using it like. Okay, go on.
I just heat up the black beans. I put it over rice, and then I put hot sauce on it.
Sounds tasty.
Mm-hmm.
The president agrees. It would be so like. Let's play this out, Jay. I'm going to take the anti-Goya black bean side, and you take the pro. And do you want to debate this?
Sure.
Okay. Jay, you're killing Americans by eating Goya black beans.
What? But that's not true.
Yes, you are. Donald Trump tells people that doesn't make people wear masks. He doesn't shut things down. The coronavirus is killing people. If you eat black beans, you hate human beings.
He's wearing a mask now.
Yeah, now he is. But he wasn't before, and a lot of people are dead already, and genocide is happening because you're eating Goya black beans. Each one of those black beans represent people Trump is murdering with his police force.
Space Force or police force?
Yeah, whatever.
Is Space Force murdering people yet or not yet?
No, they have to wait till they're fully funded before they can start murdering.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know how you get I don't understand how people get outraged about the dumbest shit. Jay, that thing that Jay sent me, who's the comedian?
Andrew Schultz.
Andrew Schultz. Yeah, he had a whole thing about talking about there's only things about voice actors because they a non-white cartoon character was being played by a white person. And he's like, yeah, the protesters are talking about police killing people and police violence. No one's protesting because of a freaking voice actor.
Do we have Facebook questions?
Yeah.
Could we do them?
Sure. Were there any more emails?
No. We had 10 last week and we got 1 this week. I don't get. We never have a consistent amount.
Andrew writes, I found a live video from Bry's losing his drone story. Some say it's still flying somewhere over Africa. It's a TikTok video. Not much of a question.
Marc,
there.
you have the
Andrew
spyware app. You want to play it?
I have what?
You have the spyware app on your phone. You want to play it?
Oh, actually, my daughter has it. TikTok. Should I be worried about my daughter having TikTok on her iPad?
I mean,
well, only if you care about your daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, what can the Chinese be learning about my daughter that's so helpful?
They really care.
I mean, you really they're like, okay, what is and I obviously I don't speak Chinese, but they're like, what is Marc's daughter doing now? What is she watching now? What is she watching now? She told me she was only.
They're trying to figure out how you get her to sleep.
She told me she was only going to watch her friends' TikTok videos. But then she's like, well, I actually watched some other videos, but there weren't any bad words. Okay, there were some bad words, but I already knew those bad words. So the videos weren't teaching me bad words.
She's right now, as we speak, she's watching Chinese propaganda up in her bedroom.
Yeah. Andrew writes.
She's going to come down tomorrow and be like, death to Hong Kong.
Andrew writes, has Jay's quest to get out of living in his apartment turned into a quest to get out of America? Yes, that's what I want to talk about. Jay, Doc, do you think Jay should leave America?
Sure. He'd be happier.
So do you want some? Can we tell some more information about this, Jay?
I don't want to talk about properties or anything, but other than that, yes.
Okay. So there are properties we can't talk about. But anyway, Jay's significant other, her family is in Thailand, and she would be very happy to move to Thailand. And Jay can move to Thailand. Cost of living in Thailand is much, much lower than the cost of living in America. Jay could go there, teach English, or just do something else, like not as stressful or not as bad as what he currently does, and have a very nice life in Thailand.
You can't teach English. You would have to know Thai, right?
Well, I'd have to learn Thai.
No, Americans go to these other countries like in Asia.
Like to teach English. English.
Yeah, like my cousin, her and her husband both went to. Actually, she went to Thailand and she taught English there. And she doesn't speak Thai, and her husband was spent like 7 years in the Philippines and barely speaks
Filipino.
Yes, Filipino. I'm a moron.
Philippines.
I was going to say Filipino, but I was like, that doesn't sound right, does it? Goya. Do you? So yeah, Jay. Like, Doc, do you think this is a good idea? Would you be upset if your friend Jay moves?
I mean, I can't go to his apartment anyway, so.
Yeah, what's the difference?
Would it matter as long as he had internet? I mean.
Yeah, we would be doing the podcast, but he would just be doing it in the morning, and we'd be doing it like. And Jay would be like, "Oh, Mark, you want to do it at like a little later? It's fine. It'll just be a little bit later in the morning for me. This is perfect." Like we would start the show. I think it's a 12-hour difference. So I think we start the show at 9 a.m. for Jay. Is that okay,
we
Jay?
can't really we can't hang out anyway. We can't go to bars. I can't go to his apartment. So.
And when Jay goes to Thailand, he can hang out because Thailand, they're a smart country. There's almost no coronavirus there.
Yeah, maybe we'll go visit.
Jay pointed out to me that there's 45 states in America, 45 states that have more cases of coronavirus than the country of Thailand.
Yeah, it's true.
It's a fact.
I think you should, Jay. I think you should.
Jay, isn't Thailand a bit hot for you though? Like it's like 95 degrees. Like.
Well, I was thinking that. Now Thailand is really, really, really hot, but I haven't wanted to leave the house in the last 2 months for heat reasons as well. And and in the winter it's too cold. And
you get used to it to some degree. I mean, I think when you're living there all the time, your body gets used to it.
I feel like it's too hot and or too cold about 7 months a year here anyway.
Yeah.
And Thailand's too hot 9 months. So really it's only a 2-month difference.
I mean, I don't know why you're not like actively trying to like talk to an immigration attorney and find out how to do this. Like, why wouldn't you do this?
Is it? How are they restrictive? I don't know how it works for other countries. Like usually people are trying to get into the U.S. I'm not sure how. I know like certain countries like New Zealand are very strict.
New Zealand and Japan you cannot go to.
Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean,
New Zealand, you got to have like some kind of profession or some reason that they want you or something.
Yeah, same with Japan. And even if they let you move there, you will not be a citizen.
So what's the deal with Thailand? Have they done any research?
I don't know, but my girlfriend's still a citizen there, so she would be able to move back, and I'm assuming I could hitch a ride based on that.
If you got married to her.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why you don't do this. I feel like this is a no-brainer. Wouldn't this solve most of your problems, Jay?
It probably would, other than like seeing family and friends is going to be, you know.
Didn't you say your dad might move with you?
I think he would be up for it. Yeah.
Okay, so now your dad is coming. You don't see your mom and your sister, but you can come back once a year to visit them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see any of your friends anyway?
Well, not anymore.
So there you go.
I mean, it's in.
Well,
it's
it would
on
be
the
kind
table.
of annoying if Jay, like the day after Jay gets there, that they're like, America's like, we got the vaccine, we're all good.
And then Thailand's like, oh no, we have it here now.
And we're giving out. Like, we got the vaccine, and everyone gets houses. We're giving out houses also.
Yeah, I don't know.
And accountant jobs, just free accounting jobs everywhere.
Okay, on a scale from 1 to 10, 1, I'm never moving. 10, I'm there tomorrow. Where are you on the scale?
I am at like when you say moving, you mean to a foreign country?
I mean Thailand.
Like Thailand.
I don't mean foreign. I mean, where else? You can't move to any other foreign country. Does it? Well, I mean, you could, I guess, but like the only country that makes any sense is Thailand, right?
I mean, Canada.
Yeah, but like you'd have to convince your girlfriend to go to Canada. Like this is like she'd like to move back to Thailand. You have family reasons to go there.
I feel like I'd have a big support group in Australia.
It's true. Turns out it's a really big country, and all their listeners are spread out. Like no one lives anywhere near each other.
No.
How strict is Australia? Is Australia similar to New Zealand, or I don't know?
No, not as strict. I was actually chatting with Andrew, and he said Lorenzo lives like down the block from him, or the next town over from him.
I would totally move to. I mean, like Australia and New Zealand, like weather and just a lot of things, lifestyle. They're good places.
I lived there I studied abroad in Australia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Melbourne. Where in Australia does Andrew live?
I don't know.
Okay.
Mark, would you move there like permanent since you used to live?
I mean, I liked it. I mean, there's no. I just have too much. I have too much family to leave.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
besides, I mean, if you didn't have the ties, like
if I didn't have the ties, then yeah, sure. I mean, it seems like a nice place to live. But I don't think it seems like a. It's not like it's a paradise either.
No. I mean,
It seems like you're moving to another like you're living in Melbourne or Sydney. You're in just another major city. You could be here also.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not having like civil war and.
It's true. Yeah, it seems more relaxed and not as crazy. But the people there, like for instance, I forget I forget what they call the original people there. Like we have the Native American Aborigines. They treat the Aborigines really poorly there also. So it's not like my understanding is a bit of a like there's racist elements there. They have problems also.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's not like you're just there and you're like, this is oh my god, I'm just in a fantasy land. Like
to answer your question, I'm about a 6 right now.
Wow.
6. Wow,
that's pretty high.
Doc, would you leave the country?
I've thought about it. Yeah, I mean, if like, like if there was like an equivalent job,
How does that work? So, as a doctor, is there anything like where you could get a job in another country?
Well, yeah, I mean, like like the reason with New Zealand, like one of my friends moved there because they needed doctors, and they allowed her to immigrate because of that reason. And it depends. Like, I don't think they have the situation right now, but sometimes when they need people, it's actually easier. Like for me, it would be if they needed doctors. Some places.
I mean, New Zealand seems like a cool country to me.
Yeah, I like the like the people that I know that are from there. That I interact with. Even I know some Indian people who moved there like 20 years ago, and I like ran into them and they were telling me how it is to live there. And
it looks really. I traveled around there when I studied abroad. Like it's really beautiful and looks like a pretty laid back lifestyle.
The person who I knew, like who I worked with, who moved there, she's been there for like I think 10 years now, and she keeps telling me like you got to move here, and she'll go on and on about how awesome it is.
Okay, so Doc, let's say you get a call and they're like, "Hey, your friend recommended you. We need another doctor. We'd love to hire you. We'll leave this open. We don't, this is a big decision, so you don't have to decide today. You can decide anytime between now and the next 6 months. But it's a serious offer. You'd make whatever competitive pay there.
Yeah.
Where would you be on doing it? Like if it was a serious option. Like
it would be like a 4 or 5. But I've actually I think a couple of years ago I actually seriously thought about this, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, I mean because I don't have that many, but it's just more like like same thing like ties. I mean it's not like I have a ton of people. It's just my immediate family though, like my brother and my parents and stuff. It's like
I mean,
it's really far. The bottom line was that if it was a country that was like closer, it'd be one thing, but like it's like a 20-hour plane ride. Like it's.
I mean, longer. So how serious? Like, was New Zealand the country you were thinking about, or what country was it?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't like super like I was trying to plan out like how I would even go about like. Because I think they did need doctors then, and like since my friend had done it, I'm like, okay, how would this actually? So I started like outlining like what I would actually have to do, but that's about as far as it got. But like how would that actually work in terms of like obviously like I own a condo, like what would I actually have to do to like? Because if I move there, then like all the stuff here I'd have to get rid of, and
so I talked to someone
and then it just seemed like too much. Like I'm like, there's no way, like it's just too much to do that.
I talked to someone who moved to Dubai for the purpose of basically saving money. They were a lawyer. They had an opportunity to move to Dubai, and pretty much a good amount of your salary is untaxed, basically, if you live in Dubai.
Dubai is, yeah.
And it seemed interesting, but I was at the same time, I was like, what's it like to live there? He's like, the tax thing's pretty cool.
Yeah, Dubai is interesting because you got these like beautiful buildings and like but then outside of that, it's like there's not much to do.
You're scared to do anything there because you're like, I don't really understand the laws here, and they might murder me for like spitting out.
Yeah, they could
gum.
like chop off your hands for stealing or something.
Yeah, you're like, you can't do that. Oh yeah, you can't. This is in your constitution, huh? Okay, cool. Yeah, well, just take my hand.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big tourist area too, so it's like,
Okay, Doc. Let's say you get an offer. You get an offer out of a job in Montreal, so not that far from here.
Yeah.
Where are you in the scale? It's a good offer. Where are you in the 1 to 10 scale?
I would say like 4-ish. Like, okay. I mean, like I've thought about like leaving. I mean, Montreal's like obviously not so far. It's like you're still like not isolated from your family as much.
Okay, last question. What if you get an offer from another doctor position in Thailand, and you can go to Thailand with your good friend Jay?
I would be less on that just because like Thailand is. I think the weather was be a big thing. I honestly I could deal with colder weather rather than warmer weather.
Sorry, Jay, Doc's not coming with you.
Andrew, I mean, I'd love to like visit. Like it's a great place for vacation and stuff, but I don't think I could live there year round.
Jay, if you move there, can we come visit?
The Doc can.
With our coronavirus?
Yeah, you can't.
I'm not allowed to visit you, Jay?
No.
What about if we like prove that we had antibodies or something?
Actually, no. You guys can visit because their process is if you come from the United States, they actually they test you and they put you in a hotel for 14 days.
Oh, then I'm just gonna go there for like just shits and giggles. Like, just go there anyway just to get the hotel.
Wait, they put you in a they pay for it or what? Or
like a 5-star hotel.
Sure about that, Jay?
Yeah, because why don't we just go? Like, get a vacation.
You can't leave the hotel for the 14 days. It's not like you have to.
Jay, you don't leave your house for 14 days.
Like, wait. If you're like if you're permanently living there, then they give you the 14 days. Is that
no? If I went there right now, they would put me in a hotel for 14 days.
What? I don't understand. Like, why can't everyone just get free hotel by just saying I'm going there? Like.
You're locked in the hotel. It's not like you can go to the country.
So?
I don't really understand the downside here, Jay. I'm not understanding what you're saying. Like, I'm like,
there must be some kind of restriction on it. Like,
this is awful. I have to stay at a 5-star hotel. Wow.
What if you're getting like evicted from your apartment? You're like, I'll just go to Thailand. They'll just have me in a hotel.
Why doesn't New York City send all their homeless people to Thailand so they can stay in hotels?
I don't know. Well, that's why
there's probably a restriction.
That's why they have almost no cases, though. They quarantine everybody before they let them into the country.
Yeah, no, the quarantine makes complete sense. I was surprised that they'd be paying for it.
Okay, so Jay, if I come and get to stay in my luxury hotel, can I come visit you after that?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, can I come into your I'm going to the hotel. I've done the 14 days. Can I come into your apartment?
Yes.
Your house? Or you're going to open a house?
Yes.
Can I breathe in your face?
You couldn't do that before the coronavirus, so no.
He would punch you.
Andrew writes, has Jay considered an Australian safari suit as his new outdoor outfit? Google it.
I don't. Are those actually? Is that like Steve Irwin?
That's what I think. But we're gonna Google it to find out. Yeah, it looks like a Steve Irwin type thing.
I mean,
this seems like a good image to you, Jay.
I mean, it's a good look, but I don't know how safe it is.
Well, I mean, you could still wear a mask.
Mm.
You think if you're not covered head to toe, you're not safe?
No,
but the face part is the most important part.
You could wear. No, Andrew's not saying you don't wear a mask. He's just saying the rest of your body will be.
Your normal clothes, you're wearing those clothes.
If you mail me an Australian safari outfit, I will wear it around my neighborhood, and I'm not even joking.
So Patreon, if we can get up to whatever it costs for an Australian safari outfit, Jay will buy it and Jay will wear it. Will you wear it, Jay, and put it on?
I will wear it. And I will put it on Instagram, and I will send pictures. Yeah.
I'm sure we can get one for. Can we get like a? What if we get a Halloween type outfit?
Maybe that's the $1 million idea. The Australian Safari Podcast.
We know nothing about it. We just talk about what we think it would be like.
Yeah, from our quarantine apartments.
Maybe that could just every episode we talk about something that we know nothing about, but we just imagine what we think it would be like.
Okay, so I see a men's short sleeve Australian safari work shirt, like a shirt basically, for $20, and we have a hat for like $16.
I want the real deal though. I don't want one of those crappy Halloween things.
What I see it on Amazon, it's fine, Jay. Here, this little boy's wearing it. It's fine.
Oh, good, good. We almost went a whole episode without you mentioning little boys. Is that it for questions? I got to go to bed.
Okay, well, last question. Andrew writes, I will buy the last 6 Brink shirts if all Jay has to do is lick every doorknob in his building.
No.
Marc needs to...
It's not even close.
Marc needs to eat 15 ants from his mansion, and Bri needs to go to the toilet while wearing a shirt.
Why do I have the worst one?
I don't know. Bri has to change his outfit for the...
Wait, you'd rather eat the ants than lick the doorknobs?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
I would eat 50 ants before I licked one doorknob in this
filthy that's the tough
building.
one, but I'm not crazy about eating the ants either.
I would eat an ant sandwich before I licked one doorknob in this building.
Doc, would you rather lick a doorknob or eat an ant?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I think I might have to lick the doorknob.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
You're not even getting it from the doorknobs anyway.
I mean, the chances are pretty low.
Yeah, you don't have my neighbors. Filthy people.
Okay, what did we learn today?
Jay likes eating ants.
I don't like eating ants. I just would rather eat ants.
Joking.
Yeah. I was going to say, Jay thinks I'm the most unsafe person on the planet.
I mean, compared to licking doorknobs, I love eating ants, I guess.
You're probably not going to make $1 million with this podcast.
I think we could do the how to not make money in a podcast. Like, I bet
I like that name. It's a good name for a podcast.
Yeah, I don't know if the podcast, it could be our online school curriculum. I bet people would buy that.
I like the what we think it would be like podcast.
Yeah.
Today, the guys from Brink imagine what Mongolia is like.
It'd be like it's the travel podcast about people who don't actually travel.
Yeah, exactly.
Today we talk about what it might be like to be cowboys. Tune in. Today we're going to talk about what it's like if we were actually working on the vaccine. Hey guys, we're going to save humanity. This is awesome.
Or just something mundane.
Tomorrow we talk about how it would be like to be on the front line of the coronavirus. Oh wait, I actually do that. Sorry.
Today on the Trans podcast, we spend the entire show trying to figure out what a difference between a trans man and a trans woman is. Spoiler alert, we do not solve it.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. thebrinkofsanity@gmail.com is the email. brinkofsanityshow.com is the website. Thank you to our listener who bought a shirt this week. We're down to
Oh my God, really?
We're down to 4. 4
shirts. Wow.
Listener. Do you want to give them credit on the show?
So you only have to lick 4 doorknobs?
Felipe, thank you. So,
thank you, Felipe.
Yes. So that's it. We're down to 4. It only took 10 years. Thank you, folks. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
My love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye. You better go away. I'm gonna leave you. It's the end. Goodbye. Goodbye. Just leave me alone. Feels so good to say goodbye. I'm sick and tired and I'm saying goodbye. Goodbye, girl. Goodbye.